Welcome to Turning Hard Times to Good Times. I'm your host, Jay Taylor, and I'm talking to you from the Borough of Queens. It is the third day of January 2023, and of course, I want to take this opportunity to wish all of you a peaceful, prosperous, and happy New Year. I always like to remind you that I am the editor of a newsletter called Jay Taylor's Gold, Energy, and Tech Stocks, which you can subscribe to by going to miningstocks.com. Miningstocks.com. I also like to encourage you to sign up for Chen Lin's letter, What is Chen Buying, What is Chen Selling? His focus is on the precious metals as well, but he also has developed an expertise in the biotech sector, and he's done very well over the years in that sector. He'll be with me in just a few minutes to tell you what he's thinking about in the markets heading as we start this new year. And, of course, I want to thank all of you for listening to this show. And for the last 13 years and 9 months, we do plan to begin providing this show by way of a podcast every Tuesday at 3 o'clock New York time, starting on Tuesday, January 24th. If you are not already on our mailing list, our email list, be sure to sign up for that. Just go to questionsfortaylor at gmail.com, questions, the number 4 Taylor at gmail.com, and just request to be put on our mailing list. We do want to thank our sponsors we do want to thank our sponsors for this week. Our sponsors for this week are El Oro Resources and Timberline Resources. I've titled today's show Inflation, Recession, and Declining U.S. Hegemony. Alistair MacLeod, Michael Oliver, and Chen Lin return. Last week, Austrian economist Daniel Lacaille assured listeners that the dollar will remain as the world's reserve currency for at least another 5 to 10 years. As expected, Alistair MacLeod, who will join me in the second half of today's show, may disagree. I certainly expect he will, but we'll find out for sure. In his December 22nd article, Alistair wrote, and I quote, 2023 will see the consequences of Saudi Arabia ending the petrodollar. Energy exporters are feeling their way toward a new commercial arrangement in a bid to replace yesterday's dollar. There's talk of a new Asian trade settlement currency, but we can expect oil exports to be offset by inward investment, particularly between Saudi Arabia, the GCC, and China. The most obvious surplus emerging in 2023 is of internationally held dollars, whose use value is set to drop away, leaving it as an empty shell. It amounts to a perfect storm for the dollar and all those who sail with it. Those of us who live long enough to look back on these years are likely to find them to have been pivotal for both currencies and global alliances. They will likely mark the end of Western supremacy and the emergence of a new Asian economic domination, end of quote. Well, if Alistair is right, it certainly doesn't sound like he thinks the dollar will remain and retain its hegemony for the next 5 to 10 years. And so I do, again, look forward to what he has to say regarding Daniel Lacaille's views on the dollar, which he expressed last week. Michael Oliver will be with me after the first commercial break to share his latest thoughts on gold and silver and the financial markets as we enter 2023. But right now, I'm really happy to tell you that Chen Lin is with me once again to tell you all what he's thinking as we enter this new year. Thanks for joining me, Chen.
Thank you, Jay. Glad to be here.
Really good to have you. Your voice. Let's just start out with what this show is mostly about: gold and silver. What are your thoughts heading into 2023?
Yeah, it's very exciting because on the end of last year, December 30th, I think last trading day, 31st. So the gold is above 1,800. Okay, if you look at long-term chart, gold is breaking the downtrend. Okay, so there's a lot of investors underinvested. Okay, even the market is down. There's massive amount of money on the sideline. Okay, on the repo, Fed repo is over $2 trillion. Think about how much cash on the sideline. And in the meantime, country like China, you mentioned, they were so afraid of what happened to Russia. They are selling U.S. Treasury. We all know that, and they're buying gold. Right? It's very obvious. So more conflict, more Cold War. Gold is more becoming the international currency of choice. I mean, so I see this year will be an exciting year for gold. I mean, I'm more excited about silver. Go to my website, chenpix.com. I have a latest update on the silver situation.
Good.
I'm very excited about gold and silver, especially on silver. So I built a very nice portfolio for gold and silver. Actually, I'm buying on all the dip. Any dip can be bought, right? So, and I see it going higher.
Yeah, and you like I guess you like some of the exploration companies as well.
Yeah, I have exploration. I have a producer. I have a pretty consistent. I mean, one thing when you mentioned that a lot, I'm buying recently is Novo Resource, right? It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
loser. It was kicked out of GDXJ at the end of December, end of the tax load selling season, and it's down to like 60 million. Today actually rebounded, but it's down to like 60 million Canadian. It's they have a meal worth more than that, okay, and then they have cash. People forgot they have a mine. Okay, they're just asking for permit to mine the fresh rock. Right? Once they got that, they can have a mine going. So, I mean, when people go negative, they go extremely negative. I'm happy to buy it. I bought it at like 20 plus cents, and today it's trading at 30. But it still has a long way to go. Imagine it was $7 a few years back. Right,
yeah.
So and also have a lithium. They already have a deal with a lithium producer to explore lithium on their project. So there's a lot of upside. Other battery metals, all these are free. So I think it's getting real cheap at the end of last year. I look forward for swing. That's just one of many exploration companies we mentioned. And also I'm like so much about Tellurian. First Tellurian, we mentioned it's on the swing. Tellurian's price has been spiking higher lately, thanks to the United States ban of Chinese solar panel, because United States First Solar, they all use Tellurian. So that's another angle to go with the solar boom.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm very excited about 2023.
Tellurium, what is the vehicle? Is there an exploration company that you're playing that with, or how do you playing that, Chen?
Yeah, it's an exploration company I put in my newsletter. Also, on my recent interview with Streetwide, it's for First Tellurian. It's the only Tellurian pure play out there. So the CEO just put a few $100,000 of his own money in the company, which is give you the confidence that he believes in that, or we believe in that as well. So that's another thing I want to look in the new year. And then finally, it's biotech, right? So at the end of the last year, the AMRS announced the financing. That's really destroying my holiday. We met in holiday. We talked about the situation. It's just unbelievable. The CEO talking about one thing that absolutely will not raise money, and then a few weeks later, he raised money. Unbelievable. And the bottom of the market, as I said in my letter, I sold half of it. I'm just, if they don't fire the CEO, I will be out, okay? So I'm sorry. I mean, a lot of biotech, it works out. Some are not working out. I have 5 tigers, 5 biotechs, right? I have 2 Grand Slam home run, which means I have 4 or 5 baggers, okay? Just if you put money in there, it will cover all the losses. That's magical and awesome. But I also have losers. I have Tricida, I have a loser, I have Amherst as loser. I mean, right now it looks like a loser. And another one, UPH doing great. Today it's up 40% in the new year. So, which is good. I mean, I hit 3 out of 5. I'm in a very tough year. I'm okay. It's not what as good I want, okay? But it's life. You cannot hit every ball as a home run, right? So biotech, you take a big risk. But you go for those big swings. You go for the Grand Slam, but they also misses. So I'm not pleased with my performance, but I'm happy. At least I hit more than 50%. So so far so good.
Right. Well, I wonder, Chen, in a rising interest rate environment, if it might not be tough for the biotechs, the early stage developers going into 2023. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's very tough for the early stage developer. That's why I'm going to the late stage. I call it little pharma. Right now, there's a huge divergence. Pharmaceutical companies, big pharma doing great. Biotech, they're terrible, right? But I'm doing those companies that's getting approved or almost getting approved. So they become a little pharma. So they have a biotech valuation, but they should get to a big pharma valuation because big pharma, they have trillions of dollars ready to buy half a trillion, I told, $500 billion to $1 trillion because that's how they made from the COVID. They're ready to buy the pipeline. So you go this, that's why I hit a huge home run lately on Magical, right? It's five-folded and probably will become a 10-bagger. Last year was one of the worst year on my newsletter. Usually every year I have a 10-bagger or more than one, but last year I have none. But I have a few 4 or 5 baggers, but I think Magical probably will become a 10-bagger when the dust settles. So we'll see. So.
All right. Well, certainly that'd be interesting to watch and see the names of these little pharma companies that you come up with. With just another minute or two left, Chen, you know, when I first met up with you, you were pretty big in the energy sector. Do you have any comments on energy as we start this new year?
Yes, absolutely. I'm still very bullish on energy. I think the Ukraine war probably will last longer than people thought because nobody can back down, and then Americans will keep feeding money to Ukraine, let the war drag on because it's to the interest of the United States. And with that, I see the oil price will stay high, and then there's a lot of opportunities. And I have this fracking play, right? Brand new fracking play is coming. The results will come in first quarter. So that's also on my recent interview with the Streetwise. So I have quite a few companies, also the Canaccord, another one, Columbia Natural Gas, pay 10% dividend, and I'm buying back shares, and they have a big catalyst coming in first half, big exploration well. But nobody really believes in those and give them 0 chance of success. So I think I have a more than 0% chance of success. So that's why I invest in those.
All right. Well, folks, you know, Chen has all these interesting ideas. He doesn't invest with the crowd. He usually finds things that are out of whack, that are out of favor, I should say, with the mainstream. And you know, just name Novo Resources. I mean, probably the most hated stock that I've been following over the years right now. But there's still value there, and really smart investors go out and buy things when nobody else wants them if there's value there. And Chen has made a living doing that and done very successful. In not only in biotechs and gold and silver, but other areas as well, and energy and things you wouldn't even think of. So you can learn about these ideas by subscribing to Chen's letter. What is Chen buying? What is Chen selling? Go to chenpicks.com to do that. Chenpicks, PICKS.com. All right. Thanks, Chen, so much for being with us, and we'll look forward to talk to you again sometime in the new year.
Thank you.